Texas football may have a bye week, but we the people at College Crossfire don't take any weeks off. In this episode, we talk about the college football playoff rankings, we'll debate the NFL trade deadline, and talk about the biggest takeaways from the Blue Devils game for men's basketball. All this and much, much more on College Crossfire.
You know, I really think that Texas fans should start buying their tickets to the Cheez It Bowl because I think that's where we're ending up this season.
I respect the game. I'm going to get up, grab the football, go back with my teammates and give the ball to the ref.
Shout out to the Tavern and the Austin Gooners. No, not that type of gooner.
Get out of my face. I've seen enough out of you.
Good evening and welcome to another show of the best debate show on the 40 acres, College Crossfire. I'm your host, TJ Krilowicz, and we are super excited to get this show started. But before we do that, I want to share that today's show is brought to you by Cap Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. So plan your ride this weekend at capmetro.org. For those who have never tuned in before, here are the rules for tonight's show. There'll be 3 rounds containing 3 questions each for every round. I'm going to dish out points in the amounts of 3, 2, and 1 based on our contestants' answers. Whoever has the most points from their answers by the end of the 3rd round will be crowned as this week's College Crossfire champion and will get the return for our next episode. But there's a catch. Everyone must know before we begin our 3rd and final round, better known as Rapid Fire, is worth double the points, meaning no lead is safe. Also, our contestants have not yet been able to see or prepare for these questions whatsoever. So they'll have to think on their feet and come up with their idea of the best possible answer. If there's a tie by the end of the Rapid Fire, I have a bonus question ready that will help determine our Crossfire champion. So now that we've reviewed the rules, let's introduce our contestants. So on first base, you'll for surely be inducted into the 1-0 Sports Show Hall of Fame. Welcome to the show, Tyler Strempel.
All right, yeah, happy to be here. Got some unfinished business from the last semester, ready to kind of show these people where their places are, kind of really insert myself.
You guys were just fist bumping just like a few seconds ago. What's up with this now?
Yeah, it's fake.
Oh, okay. And at second base, this guy's a proud Austin Gooner. And I'm saying this because he said it himself. This isn't defamation. This is what he said on the last time he was on Crossfire. Welcome back to the show, Nolan Clay.
Self-proclaimed. I'm not gonna hide from it.
But you're proud about it.
I'm very proud of it. And
The founder of the Texas Game
and
Club.
you know, last time I embarrassed myself. I was pretty bad on the show. I think I got last place. You know, just trying to do better this time. Really took a long break to really just help my mental health, to be honest.
All right, this isn't a press conference, Nolan. Come on.
So I'm sorry. So yeah.
It's good to have you back on the show. And on third base, looking to make it 2 wins on this semester. I believe that would be the first person to do it this semester. Thanks for joining, Aidan Urbach.
Thank you, TJ. Thank you so much. First off, I want to give a shout-out to Brandon Dwyer getting his first 6 points in program history.
Promoting
right?
influencers now.
This is an influencer.
Promoting
fifth-year
influencers
walk-on.
on Crossfire.
There's no promotion of.
What's the sponsorship?
Yeah, how much?
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get back to this on the Sports Bible, my own podcast. Shout out to Brandon Dwyer.
I think we've introduced our contestants now. Thanks for joining, Aidan. Excited for the show, but it's time to finally begin the game. The first question I have for you guys, all right? The Texas Longhorns got their second top 10 victory last week with a blowout turned into a close game against the Vanderbilt Commodores. And a big reason why Longhorns won was because of Arch Manning, the, quote, biggest flop in college football history. Thanks, New York Times / The Athletic. He completed 25 out of his 33 passes for 328 yards and 3 touchdowns, as well as no turnovers. It's surely his most dominant performance of the season. To you, where does Arch Manning rank in SEC QBs? And Tyler, we're going to start off with you.
Now, we're going full, like, overall in the season. I'm not going to talk specifically about concussed Arch Manning. Concussed Arch Manning seems amazing. But overall in the season, I have him sitting 7th, just above that halfway point. He hasn't proven enough in the season to be a top 5 or top 3 SEC quarterback. He's had some major issues. I'm going to put him right between Joey Aguilar of Tennessee and Taylor Green of Alaska. And just because I think there's some anything above Joey Aguilar, they have a better touchdown interception ratio. They have slightly better QBR, which I know is a made-up statistic, but in this situation, it does kind of help us determine some things. And then specifically, we talked about this kind of before the episode started. If I had to pick a number one quarterback, it's Ty Simpson of the Alabama Crimson Tide. That touchdown interception ratio of 20-1 is absolutely insane. Efficiency like that's going to get you a number one spot. But yeah, sitting pretty at number 7. I think if he continued this production, he can probably make like 6, maybe even a 5 by the end of the year. Right now, just above the halfway point. Not bad for a first year. Room to grow.
Yeah. All right, so Arch Manning at 7. Nolan, where do you have him?
You know, I'm going to actually put Arch Manning at 6, a little 6-7 action between me and Tyler Strempel.
Docking points for that.
You know, the three that are indisputable, in my opinion, Ty Simpson, Gunnar Stockton, Marcel Reeder, now they're having such a good season. I think those are the top 3, whatever order you want to put them in, really. And then I'm going to go with 2 more better than him. I like Trinidad Chambliss. I really do. I think he's been such a good quarterback this season. When I watched him against Oklahoma, his ability to make plays outside the pocket, throw on the run, throw in tight windows, make strong throws. I really enjoyed watching him do that. And I think John Mateer, I had to put him ahead of him. I think John Mateer had such a good start to the season. You can't really knock him for the thumb injury and stuff like that. And I actually put Arch Manning just ahead of Taylor Green, who's at 7.
Okay, all right. Pretty similar answers, Aidan.
I'm going to go with my colleague Nolan here. I think Arch Manning had 2 unbelievable games against against Mississippi State and who did they play last week? Vanderbilt, sorry. But I'm going to put I agree with Tyler from an overall perspective. He struggled. He was rusty. I mean, against San Jose State back in week 2, I mean, he was awful, right? But QBR matters. And, I mean, SEC is such a dominant conference. And right now he's just 6. I'm going to put Trinidad Chambliss. I agree with you, Nolan. Trinidad Chambliss. I'm going to put Gunnar Stockton, Diego Pavia, Ty Simpson, and then Marcel Reed as well. I think, Arch Manning, there's still room to grow. But, I mean, SEC is such a tough conference, and there's a lot of Heisman candidates right there. But, yeah, no, I mean, those guys have had impressive resumes, and, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like we all kind of agree that Arch Manning's kind of a little bit ahead of the middle of the pack. I actually have him at 8. So for that, I'm going to put Tyler. I'm going to give you the 3 here for the first question. You almost had identical answers, got identical order as me. I think that I agree with you. Definitely concussed Arch Manning's been playing pretty good, but it's a whole season. Nolan, I'm going to give you the 2 here. I think that you had the better reasoning for putting him at 6. And Aidan, I'm going to give you the 1. But overall, great answers so far. Let's keep the energy going into the second question, which is, with the college football rankings being released yesterday, and as always, there was some controversy on where some teams were placed. So to you, what is a team that is overrated and what is a team that is underrated, in your opinion? And Nolan, you can go first. And again, these don't have to be in the top 12 or in the playoff bracket. So.
Yeah, overrated for me kind of stood out to me right away. I think Notre Dame is really overrated in the rankings. Look, I'd have no doubt Notre Dame is a very good team. They had really 2 close losses to A&M and Miami. But we don't reward people for close losses, do we? Their best win is against USC. They shouldn't be ranked higher than Texas or Oklahoma, really. I mean, they're overrated right now. I think underrated, I actually go with Louisville. I think Louisville is the best ACC team. I think they have really good wins. They beat Miami. They beat Pitt, I believe. I know they lost to Virginia, and they kind of had the head-to-head with that. But I believe Louisville is by far better than Virginia, and I think they're kind of the most underrated team. I expect them to be in the playoff by the end of the season.
Oh, okay. Got a Louisville prediction right here. Aidan?
I'm going to move towards the Big 12. I think BYU is the most overrated team. Despite them being 8-0, they really haven't had an impressive resume so far. They almost lost to a Colorado team, and they won by 3. Let's call them Clickerado because they're 3-6 right now. They're in the bottom of Big 12 play. And I think, that they have Lubbock. College Football Game Day will be there this Saturday as well. Texas Tech arguably has the top 5 defense in the country with David Bailey leading the helm with 11.5 sacks. Bear Bachmeyer is going to have a tough time. I mean, but then I'm going to go with Utah as well. I think they're another underrated team. I mean, they've really had a bounce-back win over Texas Tech. I mean, they have been solid. You saw that Cincinnati game. This was a Cincinnati team that was one of the best in the Big 12 rankings. But, I mean, I'm going to have to go with Utah. They're top 5. Or top 10, in total offense, top 10 in defense, and they're top 5 in the rushing attack. So give me BYU as the most overrated and Utah as the most underrated.
Gotcha. I mean, that take could very well age very poorly or pretty well, depending on this weekend. Tyler Moss might kill you. Tyler?
Bit of a holy war on Aidan's side here. Yeah, I have to agree with Aidan here. I think BYU is extremely overrated. They have one ranked win, that ranked win being over a 23rd ranked Utah, so like barely. They don't have they're 16th in total defense. And that's defensive yards or no points allowed. They are well beyond the 25 spot in offensive yards. I just don't think they have a resume. I don't think they have the stats to back up being 7th. I think that's absolutely insane. Now, if I'm going underrated, I'm actually going to go with Pitt here. Now, I don't expect them to be super, super high in the top 12 here. 7-2 team, yeah, they had an ugly loss against West Virginia. Absolutely can admit that. Their other losses against current top 15 ranked Louisville, and specifically in the last month, they've been a very good football team. They're in the top 10 in multiple offensive statistics. They have the 6th rushing defense over the past month in the country. So I think also their last 3 games, super influential in the ACC standings. They play Georgia Tech. I believe they play Louisville. So Pitt not only underrated because their standings at the end of the season will directly impact how the playoff folds out, they are a much better football team over the past month, and I think that they're going to see some rising in the rankings. I think they deserve to be somewhere in like the, I'd say like 15 to 13 range.
All right. Yeah, very interesting. I was not expecting to get kind of Pitt or Utah as underrated teams. I like the answers, guys. Let me ask you guys a quick question. Do you guys think that Tech should be rated over Tech or BYU?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely.
You think so?
I mean, they've had an impressive resume. I mean, they're top 10 in total offense, top 10 in total defense.
I just think that being undefeated is still should mean a lot, even though it's the Big 12 and that they've had kind of a lot of parity. I mean, having the parity and being undefeated does mean that's a pretty quality strength to have. So I'm gonna have to give Nolan. The 3 points here. Notre Dame, I think, is the obvious pick for being overrated. Louisville, I kind of like that answer. I mean, they are very competitive in the ACC. That's pretty weak this season. I'm surprised none of y'all went Miami, honestly. That was a pretty low ranking for them. Tyler, I'm going to give you the 2 here because I do like Pitt over Utah in this sense. I think that Pitt has shown a better resume, and so I'm going to give you the 2 here. Aidan, the holy war, too, for the overrated and underrated teams. I like your picks, too. It's been a tough crossfire so far for me to pick, guys. You guys are on fire. So last question of the block. Well, if college basketball only lasted 20 minutes, the Texas Longhorns would have taken down the Duke Blue Devils last night in basketball. But unfortunately, the Longhorns weren't able to keep the momentum going against the high-powered offense that Duke possesses. After this game, what was the biggest surprise from the season opener loss and why? And this can either be a team stat or a specific player, whatever you want. Aidan?
Oh, this is a team stat, TJ. Ball security, ball security, ball security. This is something that the UT Longhorns struggled, especially with their half-court. I mean, Duke's half-court defense was, improbable. I mean, they were tremendous. They allocated 8 steals. I mean, Cam Boozer had 3 steals for a big man. I mean, that's just tremendous. And then the foul trouble. UT kept going to foul trouble. I mean, Duke was in the bonus category right in the start of the second half. So, I mean, ball security is something that UT needs to execute before they get in the further towards SEC conference play. And they really need to lower the turnover margins. It was too high, incredibly, that game. Texas as a whole had 5 fast break points. That's unacceptable to do, especially against a high-quality powerhouse in the Duke Blue Devils, who are still young and yet are led by Caleb Foster. But yeah, no, Jordan Pope and this whole team needs to get better. Look to Sean Miller to really prove that as the season goes on.
Calling out Jordan Pope?
Yeah.
But played all right.
Jordan Pope was on the bench most of the games.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah,
good answer.
I'm going to go a little optimistic. Now, obviously, the Longhorns lost this game, and I don't think anyone would have expected them to take this one against a Duke team, but there are some bright spots for me, specifically in terms of rebounds. They led the rebound battle 41-37. They had only 3 less defensive rebounds, 23-26 in Duke's favor, but 18-11 in offensive rebounds. However, even though they won the rebound battle, which is something I think is extremely important. If you're going to win a basketball game or a basketball title, you need to win the rebound battle. They only scored 8 points off of those rebounds. You have to score points off of defensive rebounds in order to beat a highly offensive team to kind of to kind of make them pay for their mistakes. So I think we're seeing that Texas is making a statement. They are physical under Sean Miller. They have a shot to win games. If they can score off of rebounds, this is a good team.
Interesting point there. Nolan?
I really agree with a lot of things Tyler said. I think someone who really contributed to that physicality was the player I'm going to mention, Dalen Swain. I was really pleasantly surprised by his performance. I think under Sean Miller, from his freshman year to sophomore year at Xavier, he improved a lot. I think like 4 points to 10 points. And he was really aggressive this game, driving to the basket, shooting threes as well. He was a 20% career three-point shooter before this game. He made 2 threes, 2 out of 5 threes. He made, I think, his first one. I was really pleasantly surprised by that. He wasn't very efficient, but he was aggressive. He played really good defense, was aggressive all around, and he really set the tone. And I think that was, a really good thing to see. Like him and Chendell Weaver, just the physical presence, the defense, some shooting maybe even. I think they're going to be a really fun duo to watch as a guard.
All right, yeah. I mean, I really like the fact that you brought up a positive note on this game because it was a very surprising game in the fact that Texas was able to keep in play against Duke here. I think this is a tough one. Again, you guys got my top 3 answers, to be honest. I'm going to give Tyler the 3 points here, though, with the rebounding. You made a great point. Basketball, it's all about rebounding. If you win the rebound battle, you usually win games. But if you can't score off those rebounds, you can't get second chance points, not going to happen. So I'm going to give you the 3 here. Aidan, I'm going to give you the 2 here. I like that you brought up the stat about 5 points in transition. The pace was awful. Sean Miller even pointed out in the postgame conference that the Texas team did not have much pace in that game. And so I'm going to give you the 2 here. Dalen Swain is a great answer, and I'm really happy that he kind of showed out. He was a lot of question marks about how he was going to fit into the system. Obviously, he's already in Sean Miller's system beforehand, but he played really well. So I'm going to have to give you the 1 here, but you probably deserve more than 1 point for that answer. Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I can make it up in the
Going through the first round, but don't go away. We still have plenty to talk about coming up on the next block. We'll discuss the Dodgers' new dynasty, the NFL trade deadline, and the new NBA season. All this and much more on College Crossfire. Welcome back, the College Crossfire. And after 1 round, we got Tyler over here on his first show this semester, ahead of the pack right now with 8 points. Nolan following up at 6 points, and Mr. Aidan right here at I said 6 points for you, right? And then 4 points for Aidan. Sorry, I don't know why I got messed up there, but all right. So we had a lot to talk about in the first round, and we have even more to talk about right now. So here we go into the second round, starting with question number 1. The Blue Jays were up 3-2, and they went back home for the final 2 games, and they were up 1 run in the top of the 9th in Game 7, and they still found a way to lose. I can't lie, as a Rangers fan, doesn't make me too mad about how that ended. But you know, hey, they lost to the new empire of the MLB, the Los Angeles Dodgers, unfortunately. This marks their third World Series in the last 6 years, and the team has gone back-to-back for the first time that an MLB team has done that since the 1999-2000 New York Yankees. So to you, which MLB franchise, however, has the best chance to end their streak of three-peating next year, and why? Aidan?
I'm going to go with an AL team by the name of the Detroit Tigers. I think our colleague Ali Schreibman would be happy with me saying that. If you look at the past 4 years, 4 different AL teams have reached the World Series. 4 completely distinct different teams. You know, the Blue Jays last year didn't even make the postseason. You know, and look at them this year. I mean, they became a shock. Detroit Tigers, in those 4 years, have really kind of, you know, continued to grow. I mean, they have had back-to-back postseason appearances, you know, and they've continued to build winning seasons. And they also have a manager who has experience beating the Dodgers in their home turf with A.J. Hinch back in 2017. I mean, this is a team like the Astros did with their dynasty. I mean, this is a return on investment with a combination of a multitude of draft picks that are starting to come into fruition, like Casey Mize, Spencer Torkelson, Riley Game. We're talking top 5 picks that the Tigers are making in combination with Gleyber Torres, Jack Flaherty, and Javier Baez to really help bolster this lineup. I think the Detroit Tigers, you know, they're a very hard team to replicate, and I think if any team's going to knock out the Dodgers, which I think it's kind of impossible, but I'm going to go with Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you told me that I was going to fall out of my seat with your answer. I didn't fall out of my seat, but it was a little bit surprising. But Nolan?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the other team that beat the Tigers, actually. I'm going to go discuss the Mariners. I really don't like the Mariners. I don't think Tyler does either. But I think one thing I saw going to free agency is that the Mariners are one of the only teams that have a lot of guys who they know are going to stay on the roster. They have a lot of rosters, like people that know a lot of people are losing other people to free agency, so they know what their roster is going to look like. They have a really, really good rotation that actually underperformed last season. They were 13th in ERA. I expect that to go up this year because they're one of the best rotations in the league, maybe the best even, some would say. And they have 2 stars, Julio Rodriguez, Kyle Raleigh, big dumper. They have star power that can beat the Dodgers in the series. I'll go with the Seattle Mariners. I really hate it, but I think they're a good choice in the AL.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely proved that this postseason, which they haven't done in recent years. So, Tyler, round us out.
You can't let the Dodgers get to the World Series. If you let the Dodgers get to the World Series, it's done. It's over. The American League is a league of chaos. You have to get them out at least by the National League Championship Series. And there is one team that can do that. You're going to fight fire with fire. It's going to have to be someone with a big payroll. It's the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Alec Bohm, Nick Castellanos, Joan Duran, Taijuan Walker. They have a great pitching staff and an offense that can be lights out. And if they can turn it on, really keep it going in the postseason, they can eliminate the Dodgers before they even get to the World Series. And that's going to be the key. I don't trust the Dodgers to lose to anybody in the American League. Honestly, I don't trust them to lose to anyone in the National League. Honestly, if you had to pick, they're going to win next year. But if anyone can beat them, it's Philadelphia.
You know, I really like that you brought up that it has to be an NL team, because I do agree with you that if they make it to the World Series, I think the whole league is cooked. It's already over at that point. It's kind of like in a sense that it's like the Warriors and Rockets. You know, you knew the Rockets could potentially take them down. They never did. They made it to the finals every time we're able to win. So I'm going to give you the 3 here. Sorry that I had to bring up the Rockets there in front of you, but I'll give you the 3 here for the Phillies. Yeah, the elite rotation, they're always competitive. Unfortunately, they did lose this past season, but every year is a different year. They can easily come back and, you know, with a stronger side, you know, maybe get some acquisitions in free agency. They're always pocket hungry, so they'll always get somebody in free agency. So I'm going to give you the 3 here. Aidan, I'm going to give you the 2 here. I think that the Tigers do have the better potential to beat the Dodgers. I like their rotation. I like Seattle's rotation too, but unfortunately, Nolan, I just can't give a team that has never made it to a World Series a chance of beating the Dodgers in a World Series, which they obviously seem to have a lot of championship pedigree on their team now. So I'm going to just have to give you the 1 here. But going into the next question, this is not usually a big day of the year for the NFL. But this year's trade deadline was on fire, with trades happening left and right and multiple blockbuster trades happening. So to you, who was the biggest winner of the NFL trade deadline and why? Nolan, you start off.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to go with a team that was selling. I'm going to go with the New York Jets. I mean, it has to be the Jets, right? They got so much capital for 2 players. I mean, great players.
It has to be.
let's call them great players. I mean, Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, they're great players. They probably weren't as good as they used to be, but I mean, the team is pretty bad. It's kind of hard to prosper in that kind of environment. But you got two good players. You got Aidan Mitchell, shout out to him, from the Cowboys. You got who is not to be named, that bad defensive tackle, Mozzie Smith. But really, they're embracing the tank, and they should be. They're not a good team, and they got 3 first-round picks that could be good. You never know. The Cowboys could be pretty bad in 2027. So, I mean, who knows? So, I think the Jets. Yeah.
Dodgers were not the Dodgers. I'm still on the last question. The Jets were like everyone's dark horse to win the Super Bowl just last season.
Yeah.
Now look at them. Tyler?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree. It's got to be the New York Jets. You get rid of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, both at one-time Pro Bowlers. Maybe haven't been in a little while, but definitely potential. I don't think anyone performs to their potential when they're a New York Jet. But clearly, they're not doing well with them. You got to get rid of that money. They get 5 first-round picks out of this trade deadline. That is exactly how you tank. You get rid of your star player. You get rid of your money bloating, and you figure out how to get 5 first-round picks. As long as they draft correctly, that's exactly what you got to do to tank. And then just as a little additional on the opposite side, speaking of the New York Jets, you got to pick a loser at the trade deadline. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Sure, Quinnen Williams may actually help their team, but they don't get a lot in return besides that. They get rid of Mozzie Smith. They get rid of some draft picks. So now the Cowboys are really in a win-now mode.
Anytime you get rid of Mozzie Smith, I count that as a W. I can't lie, but
yeah, they get put into like a win-now mode because they don't have a lot of capital to not win now, and I don't think they are winning now. So winner Jets, loser Cowboys.
Did they get?
Interesting.
I thought they got 3.
I read they got 5 out of total in terms of both trades.
No, they got 3 total. I thought.
I think it was 3.
Yeah, they did because the Colts gave away 2.
2, and then 1 for the Cowboys. So, but still a good point regardless. Aidan?
Calculated moves are just as important as blockbuster moves. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman continues to show his GM prowess by getting Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins for virtually nothing. Right? It was a 3rd-round pick. The reason why this was so impactful for the Eagles defense was that Nolan Smith is out on IR for an extended amount of time. Darius Smith just retired, right, after 5 weeks. This was a team that they had to call in Brandon Graham from the couch, playing with his daughters. He's had no time. The Eagles are continuously, Super Bowl contenders, but I think this really cements their Super Bowl chances with that trade. I mean, they've already also made trades to the Ravens with Jair Alexander and trades as far as Michael Carter's second to really bolster that secondary. So it's going to be really good for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I like that answer a lot. I'm going to give you the 3 here, actually, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Great teams, they just go and play. I don't know, but they are a very good team, and they decided to get better this trade deadline, which is what matters, and that is what they did is they got great depth. They didn't even give up really much while addressing their biggest needs. I'm going to give you the 3 here because that really helps them elevate their squad. The Jets, I think, is good, but rebuilds, they aren't always successful, and it feels like the Jets have been in a rebuild for as long as I can remember at this point. But I'm going to give Nolan the 2 points here. I think he brought up the better reasoning. Tyler, I'm going to give you the 1 here. And now we have moved to the last question of the second block, which is about the NBA. A specific player, might need to take cover because Ja Morant, he hasn't been particularly happy recently. The all-star point guard has been disputing with the Memphis Grizzlies with post-game comments directed at his coaches, and it's followed with a suspension from the team themselves. In an age where star players seem to move teams very often, Ja Morant might be the next star to move cities. So to you, if Ja Morant were to be traded, which team would be the best fit for him and why? Tyler?
There are some pretty obvious answers. I didn't really want to go with the most obvious answer because I was reading into it, it didn't make sense. Ja Morant needs to go to a team that needs a good point guard and needs to contend for a finals, not just playoffs, but for the finals. The Grizzlies would like someone who has the same kind of potential, possibly less expensive, build a bit of a younger core. Phoenix Suns. Give away Jalen Green. Get Ja Morant. Booker, Morant, Brooks. that can get them, if Morant can figure out the drama and if Morant can be a little more consistent on the scoring side, that can get him into some contention for some deep playoff runs. Additionally, Green's contract, less expensive than Morant's. Morant's is a little bit overblown right now. Grizzlies have a bit of a younger core except for KCP, who may be able to grow, build chemistry. It may benefit them as well. I think the Suns need to win now. The Grizzlies need to grow as a unit.
All right, yeah, interesting pick there. Aidan?
I'm going to go with the San Antonio Spurs. This is a team that's 5-1. They're second in the they're second right now in the Western Conference, right? They have tons of draft capital. This is the reason why I'm saying it, right? I think they can really help. John Morant can really help with San Antonio's backcourt. I would say San Antonio were to give Memphis 2 first-round picks and Devin Vassell. I think this trade, I think the DeJounte Murray trade really helped San Antonio, and I think this is a team where we were looking down the line. This is a team that's going to be great in, for decades, with Wemby, Stephon Castle. But I think John Morant, they're right now, they're showing, that they can win now. And young teams win every day. I mean, Oklahoma City was the youngest team last year. Why not San Antonio this year? So give me John Morant to San Antonio.
Okay, yeah, definitely a win-now move for San Antonio. Nolan?
I would like that move if they didn't just trade for De'Aaron Fox last year. But I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. Another team that needs to contend. They have Giannis Antetokounmpo. If you have Giannis on your team, you have to contend. He doesn't have a second star with him right now. So why don't you bring John Morant to Milwaukee? You bring John Morant to Milwaukee. You have such an athletic duo. Imagine the pick and roll, John Morant, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I think Giannis is the type of guy to get guys to lock in. He's a championship mindset, and I think he can help John Morant with that because he's never been in the situation that Giannis has been in. So I really like that fit, and I think that could really propel Milwaukee to be a championship contender.
All right.
Has the cap space and they have the draft capital to do it. So.
Yeah, Bucks and Spurs, two teams that I'm pleasantly surprised to see on this list for where John Morant will go. I think the obvious answer right here, though, is Tyler for the 3 points. I think that the Suns, you avoid a rebuild with Booker still on the team. You have the capital to go get him. Why not pair Booker with John Morant? I'm going to give Nolan the 2 here because I think that the Bucks, the window's closing with Giannis to get their second ring right now. I mean, if you look at the Bucks roster and just take Giannis out of it, it doesn't look too good at all. Ryan Rollins. I mean, and there's a Twitter account that's saying there's 41 days left till Bobby Portis is trade eligible. It's been a dumpster fire in Milwaukee right now. Aidan, I'm going to give you the 1. The Spurs, they do have the capital, you're right, but it doesn't make sense for them to have De'Aaron Fox and John Morant on the same team, in my opinion. But still interesting. It is great for TV, and it's a win-now move. But I'm gonna say that De'Aaron Fox and John Morant won't gel together as two star point guards. But 2 blocks down and only 1 to go, and we all know what's coming up next. Rapid fire. The points are doubled, and if our contendants want to win, we'll have to go all gas, no brakes. Don't turn off your screen. We got the best part of the night coming up next. Welcome back to College Crossfire, and after a great round 2, we got Tyler still in the driver's seat with 15 points, Nolan at 11 points, and Aidan right there at 10 points. But it's still anyone's game. So grab your popcorn and Halloween candy from last week if you still got it, because this next round is for all the marbles. It's time for rapid fire. Once again, the points are doubled, and the panelists have not prepared for these questions whatsoever. So it's going to be all gas, no brakes from here on out. Let's get right into our first question. We've all probably dreamed of being out on the gridiron and running out the DKR as a football player. Unfortunately, all of us love sports but aren't talented enough to be one of those players. That's why we're all here. But if you were a football player, what would be your position and why? Tyler's going quick. Oh.
Actually, you picked it first.
Yeah, so listen, if I were a football player and I still had the same physique I do, I'm not fast, I'm not big, I wouldn't work as a lineman, I wouldn't work as a skill position, I just wouldn't do anything.
I know where you're
you know
going.
what I'm going to be?
I know where you're going.
Punter.
Oh, punter.
Punter. Because
Okay.
I can learn how to kick. You know, if I start early, I can learn how to kick. And also, I have 2 jobs. Punt the ball, hold the ball for field goals. A punter is an extremely important job. I'm not going to go say I'm going to be the backup something and sit on the bench all day. I want to be in the action. But out of all the ones with the least amount of like athleticness needed, as long as I can learn how to kick the ball and punt it correctly, which is an art, but I think I can learn it. Something like that's going to be pretty
And
good
if
for
you're
me.
on a bad team and, you know, you're a good punter at least, you're probably one of the best favorite players on the team. So, Nolan?
I'm going to go with a defensive end. I think I could be a good defensive end. I'm a goalkeeper. So
DE.
You said what?
You're DE?
I think I could be a
Could be
DE.
DE.
In high school, I was kind of around a DE size, a smaller size DE, but I have quick hands. I can jab, I can rip, because I'm a goalie. I have fast reflex and stuff like that. So I think that would help me at DE. I can get around some bigger guards with just overall deceptiveness and speed. So I think a defensive end. I actually
Nolan, I want to see you a receiver, man. I want
me
to.
say a receiver.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
fast.
running those big X routes.
Okay.
Aiden?
I played D end in high school.
This is a position that really gets overlooked, and that's long snapper. Okay.
I knew somebody had to say
I'm
it.
saying this for the good of the team because I'm not really athletic, you know, as you could probably tell.
I knew
That's why
somebody
I
had
sit
to
over
say it.
here, right? And this is why I talk and gel. But yeah, no, but I'm like a Bobby Boucher, you know, as a long snapper. I have, you know, trauma, and I just take it on the field, and I got a voice, you know. I got a voice, but yeah, I could be a Bobby Boucher long snapper.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, what's
That's
wrong with
interesting.
that?
That's interesting.
What's that Mark Wahlberg film? He was like a bartender. He became a wide receiver for the Philadelphia.
No
Anything's
clue.
possible today.
Yelling in her ear. Let's keep it going.
All right. Going on to the next question. That was great. Expansion is always a big part of professional sports leagues. For example, the NHL just expanded from 30 teams to 32 in the last decade with the additions of the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken. And other leagues, like the NBA, have had pretty big rumors of potential expansion as well. Adam Silver has talked that expansion is inevitable. So in your opinion, which city do you think should get a professional team in an NBA expansion and why? Aiden, you are on the screen right now. You gonna chat GPT that? What you doing?
I want to go. Okay, so you can look at other like major cities in America, but there's one correct answer of a city who got robbed and needs a team because they had great uniforms and a great history. Give Seattle an NBA team again. Bring the Supersonics back to their rightful home in Seattle, Washington. There's no other correct answer. They got robbed. They need a team back. I will always root for a team to get a team that was stolen from them.
All right, Seattle Supersonics. Aiden?
Yeah, I'll go with one. Let me get Las Vegas. I mean, this is a city that has really cultivated sports. I mean, they brought the Raiders, they brought the Las Vegas Aces. Now they're bringing in the Athletics. You know, I was about to say Oakland, but now they're not. They're just the Athletics. This is a city. Why not just go all around now with basketball? I can see LeBron, you know, my sunshine, as the GM. Let's go with Las Vegas, and but I like Tyler's with Seattle, but let me get Las Vegas.
All right. Yeah, Vegas. They definitely are kind of becoming kind of the mecca of sports, really, in the United States. I don't know if anybody's been catching that. Nolan?
Yeah, so I wish I picked Vegas or Seattle. I kind of blanked out. If I'm being honest. You know, I'm going to go with the team that, you know, lost an NFL team before. I want to go. Why don't we give it to St. Louis? They have a pretty good
St.
culture.
Louis.
They lost the Rams. I think they're begging for another sports team. You know, they have a good sports culture. They have the St. Louis Cardinals, really passionate fans. What Why not the St. Louis? Why not St. Louis? I think they have a big enough fan base to make it happen.
St. Louis, man. I mean, I don't.
Look,
I don't particularly disagree.
I already know that.
You could have gone. You could have gone with something a lot better than St. Louis, in my opinion.
I blinked.
No. It's good. It's good. It's good. We got one last question left. All right. So, shout out to our last week's panelist, Parker Keston. All right. She's over here. She's celebrating. She recommended this question. So, with a new season of Dancing with the Stars, there are a few athletes that are on the show, including Olympic gymnast Jordan Childs and former NBA player Baron Davis. So the question is, if you could put any athlete on Dancing with the Stars, who do you want to see and why? And also, you'll get considered for more points if you show your go-to dance move. It's not necessary, but if you do it, you might just get the 6 points. So tread lightly. Or 2 points if it's a bad dance move.
I don't have a good dance.
So you're saying what's a go-to athlete?
Yeah. What athlete do you want to see on Dancing with the Stars? Parker, they're stumped.
Why?
I want to see someone who's been very socially awkward in his career go on Dancing with the Stars. It's Lionel Messi.
No.
Lionel Messi. Have you ever seen the videos of him just looking looking around looking like an NPC? He literally is an NPC who just is really good at soccer, and I think it'd be pretty cool to see the greatest of all time, who doesn't really show much emotion, be on Dancing with the Stars.
And that would be a lot of communication for him. He doesn't really like to do that. I think that's a good answer. Aidan?
I'm going to go for all the grandpas out there, maybe for Gray Bill Silva out there. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals, Icky Woods, the Icky Shuffle. With the little, the little salsa, right? I don't know if you also used to see his dance was so popular that they had commercials with grocery stores, and he would slam the food in the grocery basket, and he'd be like, "Oh, what's up?" And then he would do the icky shuffle. So I mean, it's such a popular dance move. I feel like TikTok was back in the '80s. I mean, that would revolutionize the app. So let me get Icky Woods, the Icky Shuffle.
That is a real massive throwback right there. You think he's still going to be able to do the Icky Shuffle?
He is?
Yeah, that's going to be a long.
Give him some cold cuts, he'll get it done.
Yeah, give him some icy hot, Tyler.
You gotta put someone on there who's gonna lose really early, is super funny, and is universally beloved by people who watch television. Big Papi. Put David Ortiz on Dancing with the Stars. He's gonna lose early. He's big. He probably doesn't dance very gracefully, but it's gonna be funny to watch, and he's gonna have some kind of quip. I mean, who doesn't love the Yankees lose? That's just a great time. He's not gonna go far, but he's gonna be really, really fun to watch. And also, none of them danced, so I can just do any move and kind of get some extra points. And
hey, I don't know, man. That was a little basic. I was expecting some, at least a gritty or something like that, but.
I am not good at dancing. I think the stereotype fits. I'm just going to say that.
Also, Emmett Smith won Dancing with the Stars.
Wait, we got to get him to do the gritty.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Emmett Smith won Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, well, that's a fun little fun fact for College Crossfire here on the night show. But we do have a winner, all right? This was an amazing episode. I'm glad we all had fun. There can only be one winner. So for this week, College Crossfire champion is, drumroll please, the 1-0 EP Tyler Strempel. 129 points. We got FaceTime, right? We sure do, Tyler.
Yeah, I just want to thank the Academy. Super excited to win this honor. I think this is something I've worked for this my entire life. Really appreciate. Great show. Lots of really cool answers. Really, y'all did a great job, but I did a little bit better. And I'm excited to go on next week. Just keep winning.
This biggest win for the Texans this year so far,
yeah,
man.
You know what? I did something the Texans can't do, and that's win convincingly.
Yeah. You definitely won convincingly. Won by 7 points, but congratulations to Tyler. Thank you to all the panelists for coming on. It was a great show. So I want to say thank you to everyone who makes this show possible, from the contestants to the in-studio personnel, all the people in Master Control, especially our executive producer, Graybill Silva, and to you, the audience. Thanks for watching. Remember to tune into our other shows here at TSTV Sports, which include the 1-0 Sports Show on Friday at 11, College Press Box next Tuesday at 6. Glad you joined us here for College Crossfire, and hope to see you next Wednesday at 9. This has been TJ Krilowicz. Have a great night.